In this episode, we sit down with Leon Sturm, one of the newest generation's poker elite. We dive in onto how learning poker has evolved across generations, and even play a fun social game that reveals the unique personalities of elite players. Leon also shares his take on the funniest people in poker, the balance between competing in tournaments and staying true to his personal beliefs. It's thoughtful, it's entertaining, it's a Chirp in a Chair podcast.
So you know why we brought you here, right?
Not particularly.
For 10 years, we've been trying to infiltrate the Germans. Fedor's been winning everything. We need a mole. We need a guy on the inside.
Can you be that guy?
I can be your guy.
We can't really offer you anything, but
No.
That's an issue. I'm quite easy to influence and get on your side.
Okay, if we're being honest, Triton's having a podcast and they fired Pete. He did one episode. It was terrible. Nobody
He's
liked
out.
it.
Pete's out.
So we're trying Seth and I.
Well, it's a shame. I really like Pete, but
We're
I do
calling
too.
it the Chat in a Chair,
Sit and go.
Sit and Go
What do you got for a title?
podcast.
there's a German translation. Like Germans like to have words from poker just like Germanized. You know, there's like all these English terms, and the Triton logo looks like the thing that Poseidon has.
No.
Yeah, it's a
What's
Triton.
this called?
That's a Triton
Trident.
or a Triton. You can even call it a Triton. right?
Really?
You can
Like,
even
that's
call it
what
that?
the word's from.
Oh, I always thought it was
I
Triton.
mean, it's called Trident, but I think like saying a Triton is like the same thing.
Anyway, the German translation is Dreizack. So my suggestion is the Dreizack podcast.
There we go. You're
Dreisaitl
the only one who
podcast.
can pronounce it, so that
We went
sounds
from
great.
getting a
You're
mole
forced
to-
to host forever.
Germans taking over even more.
Yeah, there we go.
You can't stop him,
We can just leave now.
You're hosting next episode.
apparently.
Got any ideas? Who's going to be the guest?
Well, I just told you that Kayan would be a great one.
He doesn't speak
Besides
German.
that, I would have to think Phil Nagy would be good content.
Yeah, he'd be good.
I like both ideas. Those are fantastic. Get
It's,
the two of
it's
them in
supposed
a
to be
row.
all about players, though. Like, Phil Nagy's not really a player.
I really like his Venom jersey. Have you seen that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, the Venom is the single greatest tournament in online poker, I think.
Man,
It's pretty sweet.
I stopped playing that tournament. It takes 100 hours. Like,
100 hours.
last time I played it, I think I played for like 20 hours, and we like weren't even in the money. I was like, this is the worst
But that's
thing
what
ever.
makes a good tournament, right?
Yeah, for
Great
sure.
structure, but
True.
technically with you, yes, it's obnoxiously
I
long.
mean, you're just, yeah, no, it's fun, but it's just like effectively super low stakes because of that.
Well, it's a subtle brag, but yes.
What's that?
I mean,
No, I mean,
you're
whatever.
right,
I'm
I guess
not
the
bragging
longer it
about
takes,
it. Yeah, but
So you've got Jaffe in an interview. You know you're playing a game.
Yes.
let's play a game.
Play a game.
Explain
We
the
gotta-
game to the
yeah.
fans.
Playing it
Leon
in the
knows this
150K,
game.
So clearly also playing it here.
Say it again.
Playing it in the 150K, so we also got to play it.
Yes, exactly. For the viewers, I have to sometimes resist the urge to play the game at all times during the tournaments. But Leon was nice enough to oblige me in the 150K.
Big games
For a
guy.
little bit, yeah.
Big games guy. So the way the game works, as Leon and Seth know, a card gets randomly selected.
This is not the card for the game.
This is not the card for the game. Leon will not see the card in reality.
He's the what do we call this guy? Like
The guesser?
yeah, let's think of something better than
The game is
guesser.
missing all sorts of terms. Like, there's no name for the actual game.
I like the game.
It doesn't have a
It's,
name?
it's so self-important. It's just the game. There's all other games. They need
True,
titles.
But just when you explain it to people and you're like, well, what's the game called?
So,
Let's call him the Equalizer.
all right.
It doesn't make any sense, but it kind of sounds cool.
Sounds badass.
He'll be the
It's like
Equalizer.
Denzel.
Yeah,
next movie.
exactly. That's what I was thinking of.
A dealer told me it's called frequencies. Not frequencies. Sorry. A dealer
No,
told me.
this game actually does have a
wavelengths.
name. I
Wavelengths.
remember this now. It's stupid. It's called like Rinky Thinky Dink or something like that.
That was
Seriously,
made
this
up.
is
That was
on-
like Dan Smith or someone.
Oh,
made that
was?
up.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have that- okay.
I mean, I
good.
technically like both of them better than the game, I feel like.
The- what was
Even
it
though
called?
you're right, it's like,
Wavelengths.
Wavelengths. All right, we can do wavelengths.
Yeah, are you on the same wavelengths? So we ask a subjective question. Leon's the guy who's going to be getting the questions. I say, Leon, this is a country you'd like to go to prison in. Surely he doesn't want to go to prison, but there are better places and worse places to go to prison. An ace might be Monaco or Norway. A deuce might be Somalia. But the card might be an 8, and then Leon is searching for something that's middle of the road. Where does he want to go to prison? Paraguay. Not the worst, not the best. So each time there's a random, card. We'll ask you 2 questions per card.
Yeah, one per person, right?
Well, he's getting all the questions, and we're
No, we
debating
just
it.
each at.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Perfect. We're all on the team here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the important part of the game. It's cooperative. So Leon's trying to give us honest answers to guide us to the right answer.
All right, let's
All
do
right.
it.
How about Leon? Pick a card.
Show it to the camera.
Let's do that again. Yeah, you pick a card, put it on your head, show it to the camera. I mean, he could just hold it on his head.
Or just
how it's
just
supposed to
do
be.
that so the camera can see it
Holy smokes.
and we can see it. You want to make a very good dealer.
No, this is not my strong suit.
Just take the one off the top.
All right.
It's all shuffled.
All right. The way we're playing it, Leon pulls a card, he sees it, shows it to the camera,
We
and then
don't.
Seth and I are going to ask questions looking for a subjective answer. Leon's answer is going to hopefully guide us to the card, and then Seth and I will debate it.
We have to,
make a
yeah,
guess.
we have to come to an agreement.
Pull a card.
I will pull a card.
Show it to the,
Gladly.
show it to the other people. All right, what questions do we have here?
So we nail it, we win. We miss by 1, we draw. Miss by 2 or more, we lose.
Yep.
Cooperative. All win or
We're
lose together.
all trying to get there.
All right. Question number 1. Stand-up comedian. Triton's doing open mic night. Who do you want on stage? Looking to make the audience laugh.
Plain and simple. Kyan Mockery.
Kyan's doing the open
okay.
mic night. Feeling pretty high.
Yeah, that's got to be high.
Yeah. I mean,
It might be.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're in King Ace territory. All right. Hit him.
All right, my question is, you have to go back in time you have to take one Triton pros, you have to be the father of one Triton pro when they're 15 years old. Go back in time to when this person is 15 years old. They're one of the Triton players. And you have to be their father for 1 month.
Love it.
Who do you ace like you most want to be there? Deuce the least you want to be there.
It's interesting because, like, on what metric do I make this up? Because the way that you were starting your question is like, oh, what's the most EV? Where can I have
Yeah.
the best impact on someone, or who has the most potential? But this is more like enjoyment, right? Like,
Who's the biggest asshole? Yeah.
yeah, or who's not? Yeah. 1 month of being the father
1
of
month.
someone. I mean, I could go both ways here, but I could try and have like a good impact on someone who I think turned out the wrong way, or which is a really high horse that I'm putting myself on by judging that. But
You could send someone down a different path.
yeah, this
hilarious.
this kind of thought, yeah. It'd be very helpful to have like some
Get everybody's face up there.
yeah, some board where I can just scroll through the faces.
Yeah, you need the app.
I was playing the game yesterday with the app sort of, and just
I'm making a call. He's going Webster. That only goes if he's going one way, but
He just doesn't know him well enough.
sweet guy.
He's a sweet guy. If you get this right, that'll be really.
Yeah,
You guys would
fucking
be colluding
mic
or
drop.
something.
Should we let him pull up a roster?
yeah.
Yeah, take your phone out. You can see a bunch of Triton players.
Just pull the main
It will
event.
definitely fasten the process.
Ken Mallory might say something just like, get the place shut down.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
I guess that's kind of what
This is who would bring down the house,
yeah.
one way or another.
I feel like this question is just not going to help you much with my card, but
I think we already know the answer.
you already know the answer. Yeah, that's true, the first one. Because I have talked a lot with Sam Grafton recently because we spent some time in Buenos Aires together. From what it sounded like he had a very interesting youth and he was like very activistic and stuff. I would pick Sam. I think he had a lot to say.
What were you guys doing in Buenos Aires? Just hanging out?
Just hanging out mainly. I was Dietrich Fast and Cora Aldemir were there, and they were kind of soothing me into the idea in Miami in November, and then just went after the free roll.
Sick. Yeah.
It was a good time.
Man, went for a week-long hike too.
That was
week-long
an even
hike.
better time. Yeah, where I
Was
could,
it in Patagonia or what?
on the Chilean
Sick.
side
Yeah.
in Torres del Paine, the national park is called. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Like, I've also never had a like non-poker travel experience really in the last couple of years, so that was the first time that I also went alone, which I've never done before. So that was really cool.
Phoneless,
Sort of.
airplane mode.
That's great.
Close.
I was using it as an alarm, but
Okay,
yeah.
that's pretty phoneless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
technically very fun. Yeah, it was quite nice. It's sick though how quickly you're back into reality right after it happened.
Yeah.
It ends, right? I was in my Airbnb the night after and everything seemed back to normal. It was kind of weird.
Right. There's kind of no escaping it.
But anyway,
right?
we have Cayenne and some Grafton.
King or ace?
Yeah, it's going to be a king or ace. Who would be? Is there anybody?
Nick is pretty hilarious.
Is
A
there
lot of
anybody
people would
who'd
pick him,
choose
but I
above
don't know
Cayenne?
that Leon
Was
would
Nick
pick.
your secret pick?
No, I said for a child Webster. Nope, I was pretty off.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, I just don't. I just don't know.
Yeah.
So is there anybody who'd pick above Cayenne for?
I was just mostly thinking people who aren't going to come back after curfew. That's not Sam. Webster's there at 8:30 on the dot.
All right. So I guess it's a king, right?
I think ace.
All right.
Ace.
Ace.
Let's go. One
I feel
for
like that's
one.
unfortunate though, because with the
you
especially
want
the
to-
first
It
question.
happens.
kind
What,
of
if we just pull like 4 aces and deuces, we're doing this over. But
Yeah, you
Just a deck
you
full
could
of
put
aces
so much
and
nuance
deuces.
to the first question. Then
Yeah.
I just had to pick Cayenne because that was just
Yeah,
the best way I could hint you, right? But
Yep.
How's your poker week been going, Leon?
results wise, or
Yeah. You had some runs.
yeah, I got 6th in the 20K.
And then you just
I
cashed
broke
the main,
everything
right?
and cashed the main.
Cashed the
Yeah.
main.
But the main was a wild ride yesterday. I was not
That
happy
was a
with my
fucking
play.
crazy. Like from 30, or not from 30, like from 60 down to the money was a wild tournament. Like so much shit happened everywhere.
On my table specifically, it was going down, and I punted hard, mostly into Roman
Yeah.
Harbeck.
Yeah.
I
What
not-
was the
I was
hand?
not feeling good. I mean, lots of stuff. Pretty early when I got moved to his table, he 3-bets me button versus under the gun. He has 21 bigs. I have big battery of stack
How much?
on a soft table. This was soft bubbled, like 20 off the money or something. I mean, if you want to call it soft,
Yeah,
bubble, it was
whatever.
like 20 off the money. Yeah, I have ace-6 suited. He makes it 5 bigs. Button versus under the gun. I launched it in, which I thought was horrible. Afterwards,
Suited
naturally,
ace.
because he had ace-queen suited as an induce, which isn't good. But
Which isn't good. Nice.
it's a good induce, but yeah, I wasn't happy with my play.
I mean, if he's playing like the no flat strat, it's fine. But whatever.
Well, he also probably just knew that online rank populations is going to put it in.
Yeah.
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 It's kind of whatever, but I didn't feel great about it afterwards, obviously. Yeah, then bluffed some into Santosh, which is rarely a good idea.
I mean, not the worst idea.
It was on the river, so.
Oh yeah, that's a little less good.
Got one bluff through against Santosh, though, on the river as well. That one
you
felt
go.
good.
All right, round 2.
Round 2. Who's the guy?
You take that question that we have there. I've got one from the phone.
Okay. Is Leon still guessing?
Oh yeah, it's all Leon.
And it's
Alright,
all,
so-
always
Gotcha.
tied to the game.
Yeah.
Alright.
For now, anyway.
For now, anyway.
I'm doing it. Okay.
Okay.
We got one.
Yeah, you're taking the
That was the mic.
elevator, huh?
Yep. All right. You got your card?
Now I do.
All right. This
We
is.
will do this over, dog, as I pull this exact same card again. You
Oh, you got the.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. I
do
was-
that over.
It's kind of sick. I mean, we are
just all
we are
cards.
just doing it. I mean, it's
Yeah,
kind of lame
yeah,
because
let's-
then you know it's not going to be an ace. But
That's okay.
yeah.
We'll say this one. You'll play it if it is.
Yeah, if it's an ace, do it.
I mean, I'm clearly not shuffling.
Ace of Hearts.
I put it under. It's impossible, actually.
It's a trick deck.
It's apparently.
Pete gave us some trick deck to fuck with us. That'd be funny.
I mean, how is this like back to back?
If it was truly random, yes, that would be in the like 1 in 2,500.
But if I do it like this,
No,
it has
3
to be
times.
random. I'm so confused.
25.
no,
100
because you don't do
times
the first. Because the first just was an
Oh
ace.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I just wasn't shuffling correctly. So.
You get it.
Okay.
All right, this poker player, the last person, or no, not the last person, that you'd want to be stuck in a lift with. You're stuck in a lift with this person for however long it
Aces.
takes.
Ace is who you'd most like to be stuck
Most-
with.
Yeah,
Deuce
most
who you-
want to be. Deuces.
We go in pros only on this?
Interesting.
Let's go pros only.
Pros
I don't-
only,
I don't
yeah.
think we need a, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. but even that feels kind of tough to throw people under the bus. But Is it doing that?
This
Maybe
guy's got
You're
a
good.
3. No, you can throw everybody.
Yeah,
under
there's
the
people
bus.
you vibe with, people you don't.
Yeah.
One person's got Nacho as a 4, another one has him as a 3.
like this, for example. Do you want to make it on the?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, it's true.
Dude, I was doing commentary last night and hilarious. I can't remember what her name is, but there's a new dealer, and Alex. And she's cute. And Ali was mentioning that Final 3, Armaganian was hitting on her when he was Final 3.
He told me about that,
Oh my
and he
God.
was so proud. He was like, "Oh yeah, she was like later." And
That guy's out there, man.
He's hilarious, man.
I like
He's a
him lot.
very young guy. That's how I would describe
is.
him.
But he's really authentic, you know.
Yeah,
I give him
super
a hell of
authentic.
he's, you know, I like that combo of personality where he's out there, he'll say anything, but he's like it matters to him to be genuine, you know, like he's
yeah.
not going to bullshit you.
Right.
But yeah, he's surprisingly confident. I mean, not surprisingly, but
He's an old school character in this world who,
He is
like,
kind of
you
an
know,
old
he
school
just,
character.
yeah.
Surprisingly confident is a hilarious way to
I
describe
shouldn't
him.
have phrased it that way.
Surprisingly confident, given where he stands in this world. It's just so
Yeah,
surprising.
this is what I would. Yeah. Anyway, stuck in an elevator, I will be with Dimitar Danchev.
All right.
Okay.
Donchev's not going to panic, you know.
Yeah, Donchev is ice cold. I mean, that's just happened to him a bunch of times.
He's going to keep it cool. Leon can feel comfortable being quiet. It's
He
not
might just
gonna be
like pull out a pen from his pocket and fix it. He looks like a guy who can
yeah,
just fix
he's
anything.
got a little MacGyver in him.
Yeah, like
Bulgarians are resourceful.
for sure.
Anyone coming out of the Eastern Bloc, they've done some stuff. they've made it to this point in life. Maybe not Kulev. All right.
Yeah, Kulev's not fiction. Yeah.
But Kulev was
Kulev's probably a guy who like has trouble ordering room service.
Yeah. Kulev has his girlfriend
Yeah,
for
for
order
sure,
group
yeah.
service. How do we do laundry? All right.
You know that Kulev grew up in South Africa, though, right? I think.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Which is weird because he doesn't really talk like it.
No.
I'm not exactly sure South Africans talk like, but they always talk like
It's
they have
definitely
some
not like-
accent, but you just can't pinpoint where
It's
it
like a
is.
mutant
Yeah,
British
yeah.
accent. Because
Yeah.
it's what it's like kind of like Australian, South African, and UK. It's all kind of like mutant versions of the UK accent.
There's a South African rec, JP. He was playing at whatever was in the Bahamas.
Oh, the big Jack
recently.
guy?
Yeah. He was a rugby player. He sounds like prototypical South African.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to play with
They
him.
kind of sound like New Zealanders. Is probably the closest English accent.
See that?
Yeah.
All right.
Which is-
Second question. Poker SATs, standardized test, measuring a player's knowledge of solver outputs. Nothing to do with real-time at the table stuff. Just how well do you know the solver? Who are you competing against?
This is
Pros only.
Pros only, yeah. I'm competing against. I mean, I
Yes.
guess it doesn't matter from a metric standpoint. Yeah. Okay.
Dimitar's definitely getting out of that elevator, man. I got stuck in the elevator in Sochi. This was before Leon's time. This was pre-COVID. Did you go to Sochi?
No, was this like right
2020.
pre-COVID? Like where you guys were flying out emergency?
Yeah, it was we got home to the U.S. It was like one of the last flights. Like I was on one of the last flights from England to the U.S. But yeah, Sochi. It wasn't a Triton, but it was like all the Triton guys. It was a partnership between Triton and like Party Poker, I think. And yeah, I got stuck in the elevator. This is in Russia too, and it was the scariest thing ever. The guy just comes in and it's just banging around trying to fix it. It was the whole.
That's not where you want to get stuck in an elevator.
Yeah, might have been Dimitar's brother.
I have an answer for the solver output.
Yeah.
I'll pick Mr. Tang,
Danny.
who I conveniently.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant somebody else. I thought you meant Mr. Tong. I thought you were saying
I was
Ken
thinking
Tong.
of this
Yeah,
too now,
Ken
yeah.
Tong. Danny Tong.
All right. We're
Again, feels like throwing someone under the bus, but Mr. Tang has a lot of other good qualities in the game. I just feel like solver
Yeah,
output
right.
isn't exactly his strength.
looking 5-4 territory.
Yeah, like middling low.
Donchev's not
No,
going to
it's,
annoy you.
I don't
He's
think.
not
I
going
think
to
that's
panic.
too low. I'm thinking like 6.
Pros.
I mean, what's so bad about being stuck in the elevator at Dimitar?
I think Leon might be looking for more affability, a little more conversation, a little. Dimitar's not going to reassure you. He's not. Everything's going to be all right.
But, like, so if you're talking, like,
everything's going to be what it's going to be, is what he's telling Leon.
If someone's a 4, like they're annoying the shit out of you.
Yeah. Okay. 5.
I
You've
got
convinced
6.
me.
I got 6.
6. No, I feel 5. I'm pretty firm on this.
It's your show, man. You're the host. Yeah, let's do 5.
Like I'm closer to 4 than I am to 6. but I think
You're
5.
fucking crazy, man. Like,
Really?
Why would he pick Dimitar for 4? Maybe we got
Because I've only got like
4 would be like.
there's a lot of people tied with Dimitar, but then like how many are clearly below?
I can think of a few.
Yeah, and they might get on your nerves
All right.
a little more than Leon's. We'll go.
No, five's all right,
5.
5.
We did a pretty good
If
assumption.
it's a 6, I'm gonna panic.
No, it's a 5.
Let's go.
Let's go.
2 for 2.
It was exactly that. I just have never, like, Dimitar is one of the recs that I've least spoken with. I mean, I've not spoken to him at all, and it's exactly that. There's like no conversation. I wasn't thinking of like the panicking part where someone can reassemble.
He might just be like a
That's
king.
funny.
He doesn't speak that much English, I don't think.
Which also would put him lower on my ranking because I would because I personally think it's a pretty hilarious spot to be stuck in an elevator. I have not been stuck in an elevator at all throughout my life, I think, and I think it could be quite a memorable experience if it's with someone that you can enjoy it with better than.
Yeah, for
Hey, you
sure.
want to jive? You want to?
Yeah.
To me, being stuck there's not a net negative
Who would
thing that you need to get saved on.
Who would panic the most?
Yeah.
Who would be the most panicking?
I feel like poker players, generally speaking, are good at not panicking.
Grafton's pretty high for panic.
Yeah, Grafton might panic.
You put an extrovert in an elevator, he's only got one person.
Yeah, who's like, if you're, okay, I guess this is kind of darker, but if you're on a plane that's going down, who do you want to be next? If like you're in, it doesn't necessarily, like you're not going down, but like you're in a life-threatening situation where you got to get out of it yourself. Like you're stranded on an island, I guess, and there's a way to get out.
This is pretty similar to a question that we had yesterday in the game, which is
the pilot who takes over, right?
Who's gonna take over the plane?
That's a
reason.
The answer we were given was Mike Watson. Where do you think he rates? What was the card?
Watson's a cool customer. He's not.
This is taking over the plane for
the thing I'm worried about with Watson is like he's not gonna like take charge as much as you need somebody to like take charge.
He's gonna keep his cool though.
He's gonna keep his cool. He's gonna do it. He'd be like a great first officer, not the captain. He'd be a great substitute first.
Said
officer.
10. You got a number?
Watson.
It's perhaps higher, but
it's a 10 or Jack, I guess.
This was somebody's 9.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like it. Solid.
I feel like you would rank relatively high, but I'm not sure.
I got somebody threw me out as a queen. Seems fair.
Here you go. Who's the worst?
I think a lot of it's just following instruction because like no one's gonna intuitively fly a jetliner and like land it. So it's like how well can you listen to the instructions of the tower and keep calm?
Yeah, who's the most panicky guy in the room?
Nick's pretty panicky. He doesn't like that kind of thing. Nick's not great with stress. I put Nick around a 6. Petrangelo.
Okay.
I mean, I've never seen him with the life on the line, but like he does not like random adversity he could not predict.
That's for sure.
My laundry, a day ago I put it out and now I got no clothes for tomorrow. What do I do?
He's definitely a creature of routine.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough to assess.
DeVoris was the ace. I think.
Yeah, DeVoris is the perfect guy.
Dan's just a capable human.
They were also putting him in as an ace for like the apocalyptic survival stuff.
Dude, everything.
He's a very outdoorsy person, I guess.
Have you seen like his Instagram or anything?
I've seen a little bit of it when he goes like fishing or.
He goes for like 10-mile hikes with a canoe on his head. It's the craziest thing ever. Yeah, he's like the sickest outdoorsman ever.
Like poker players are very incapable humans. When everyone was learning life skills, we were learning turn, check raise strats, and DeVoris somehow did both.
Yeah, he was ice fishing and shit.
Another guy coming out of the Eastern Bloc.
That's true.
Something there.
I don't know if Artur could fix stuff.
No, that's true.
I don't think he's the guy you want fixing your van.
Artur's a very
or Makita.
You want Arthur fixing your dinner reservation at a Michelin star.
You think so?
Maybe.
Matrojan.
It looks like a guy who eats
Archer seems like a guy who does. I kind of put Archer in like the Kuleb basket, where it's like, it's poker and that's it. Like they outsource everything else.
It's a totally different mindset and sentiment about the whole thing. I feel like Kuleb is like on a self-fulfilling journey and
yeah, Arthur's not on that shit.
Arthur's just vibing.
Arthur strikes me as day to day. Like, what am I going to do today?
Yeah,
poker seems like a good idea. What did I do yesterday? Yeah, poker seems like a good idea.
I think
Arthur's the man, dude.
He's great.
But yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about all that shit.
I've got another.
Kulev's on the stairway.
I got another high up captain for the plane. VBV.
Ooh, yes.
He seems like a capable
another guy
dude.
who could fix something.
I feel like no fear of death. He's just like, all right, then let's land this motherfucker.
But he might try to like start doing some barrel rolls or something. He might try to fucking turn it into an air show.
That's true, but you know, with the money on the line, he doesn't have fancy play syndrome.
I don't know about that.
Really? Different? Okay.
Like
He
I wouldn't
crushes
say
that
he
stuff. I
like
got so much
particularly. Yeah, you have a ton of history with him.
respect. Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's like particularly kind of out of line, but definitely not in line.
Yeah. Where does
All you heads up guys just like are just artists.
our idea of creativity is a little different? Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are all savages.
VBV for stand up. That would have been, that's up there for A's too.
So who are
if
that
we can
for
get
sure?
maybe a little translation. But he definitely speaks English better than he lets on. He just likes to play the card as much as he wants.
He definitely.
He's in and out of how fluent he is, depending on whether he wants to talk or not.
Yeah.
But do you think he's going to be very aware of the jokes that he makes, or do you think it's just his dry personality that will be?
Oh, I think he's super
just, like,
sharp.
goofy.
I think he's one of the smartest guys out
Yeah,
there.
he's very sharp for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, he just.
It's like he knows 10 words of English and it's like the funniest guy ever. It's the same with Tan Schwan.
Yeah.
Tan Schwan speaks no English, but is somehow still so funny. We had the other day. This was so funny. He like dodges the blinds. It was really funny. And just like he like takes a lap, and they give him a penalty for it. But rather than giving him like an orbit penalty, they're just like, okay, this is kind of an old school way to do this. You skipped 10,000 worth of. It was the 2K, 4K level. So he skipped 10,000 worth of posting. So we're going to take 10,000 out of your stack and put 1K into every pot for the next 10 hands.
Skipped out of it how? What do you mean? Like he
was coming into the big blind and like took a lap. He did that move.
That's
That's
like
wild.
a very non-Triton thing to do. Like
Yeah, I mean, he's just like
I've
never going to
seen
get away with
somebody-
it. So,
yeah.
But it's good that they're looking for it, right?
That's-
Because
yeah, I mean,
surely no one even tries. So being
you're
aware
never
of it is.
going to get away with that.
That's
here.
pretty cool.
But yeah, so they penalize him this way. But every time they take one of his chips and put it in the pot, he just goes, "My money." It's so funny. He's hilarious.
Oh
Man.
man.
Is this like straddling where the people then try to be way more eager to win the pot because it's like they're.
I mean, it was like hardly any increase in the pot.
I mean,
because there's only 1K. It was still 2K, 4K, so it was like the ante
But
was
like
5K
the mental thing of some of your chips entering the pot for no
Oh,
reason.
yeah,
probably.
for Tan for sure. He was probably trying to win.
I'm gonna ask that one.
Which one am I? Okay.
You go for what do you think about that one? Bottom.
Bottom. Okay. Got it. Let's get a new card.
Round 3, baby. Let's go.
We're
2 for 2
2 for
coming
2.
in.
2 for 2 is pretty strong.
I don't know if that's a good endorsement for the viewers about the game, or that's like, oh, this game's too
Dude,
simple.
I think I had the
mean,
worst
that's right.
run in history last night.
Yeah.
It was a 3, and I guess the queen.
Did you get
That's-
sabotaged?
I think I've never seen.
Who were
it.
you playing with?
Ponakovs, Paulius. There's 2 Lithuanian
Yeah.
Pauliuses. The one who won a Triton here.
They're the
Yeah.
same to me.
The one with the
Those
crown.
guys all have cool ass names.
They do.
Yeah.
Dimitonkus,
Vaticanus
Laurinaitis.
Damascus.
Yeah.
Hence, I'm not gonna try and.
Sounds like
Yeah.
you're watching like a Greek,
Mike was there, Mike
Greek
Joseph,
history film.
and
Yep.
Alex Vaev.
You had that many answers.
It was horrible.
Oh my God, no saboteur.
Technically, 3 of them were sort of giving me bad answers, and then Alex's wife was actually giving me a really, really good one to guess, and it just threw
Yeah.
me off so much. I just knew I was gonna go. It was like really polarized, either like really, really bad or really
That's
good.
wild.
Yeah.
The best I ever got, I asked Ramin Hajiev, I say, zombie apocalypse. This guy's your partner. This is your ride or die. And I felt decent about the card to us.
That's
What?
you really good. See, this
What is going
It was from
on?
the top, right? Like it's
Take it. Toss it. Toss it. We
No,
can't.
we got to see if this
Ace
keeps
of
going.
Hearts.
I mean,
can't
obviously
be
not
here.
shuffling in any correct
Amazing.
way, but it's still very
Still should
unlikely
not
for
be.
it to be on the
Yeah,
top.
it should not be happening.
Wild.
So what did Ramin said who for his zombie apocalypse?
Zombie apocalypse. I felt pretty good about where I was card-wise, and then he throws Bryn Kenny at me. I said, oh, Bryn. All right, so Bryn's either a 3 or a 2. I was like, Bryn has none of the skills you're looking for in a zombie apocalypse. A really sharp guy. I think Bryn's a great
But
resource
yeah, he's
in a
not
lot of
going to
areas.
cut down a tree for you.
But the only thing I could come up with is Ramin could outrun him when the zombies come. Like, I was just, no. Bryn's a full give-up guy when the zombies come, I think. It was an ace, and I just lose my shit, and I go, Ramin, like, you understand, ace, high, someone you really want, Daniel DeVoris, what do you, 2 is where he goes, zombie apocalypse, bro. We're all gonna die. I want to die with someone I like.
Oh, I like. Okay.
He snap answered 2, which told me that Ramin immediately gave up. He heard zombies and he said, "Fuck it, we're dying.
We're dead."
Who do I want to hang with?"
This is very interesting because once again, yesterday in the game, someone was explaining to me how someone gave Bryn as a really high up one, but I was losing my shit because they said Bryn is just gonna be someone you can sacrifice because the zombies have so much time to chew on him. And I was like, he's not the biggest guy you can think of. How is that at all a reasonable
Man, Bryn is a great answer for so many things because there's so many split ideas about him. He's like a polarizing figure in a lot of ways, and you'll hear people would be like, heart of gold. Other people would be like, did you watch that podcast?
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own feel. He's certainly not Ali or Jake.
Yeah. Okay, so my question for this new card is, which player is going to be you have to choose one player to be your therapist for the next 5 years. They're going to straighten you out.
I remember there's a pretty
It's
common
5
question
years,
with the
5
mental
years now.
coach, who, out of the Triton pool, who's going to be a mental coach. Therapist is obviously a bit different. 5 years is also a long time.
Yeah, you're with them for a long time.
This is now whole pool, right? Not just the Rex.
Yeah, whole pool.
Yeah, everybody.
Keep rexing.
Everybody. Yeah.
We're going to say foreigners get translated for you.
Yeah, there's no language
Bad
barrier.
English, you're
No
going to
la-
get
no
language barrier.
There's so many more people here than any other Triton. You got to work for it.
I've got some facial reads on
crazy-
them already. I feel like we're ahead.
You can't even tell them about how you can't even see what people's faces look like.
Oh, yeah.
He's got some crazy disorder.
Yeah, I'm not quite there where it's like put me on 60 Minutes and make a feature, but I don't recognize people's faces very well at all. So like I'll see Seth from 20 feet away, and if he's not walking, I'm like, is it Seth? Is it James Dempsey? Who is it? Tall, bald, good figure, fuck, okay. Do something so I can recognize you. It's really tricky. Like all Trip, Vladis, and Jason Kuhn are one person to me. It's yeah.
They do look really similar.
I remember
Lana's
people
very thinner though, right?
I don't know. They both also wear like leather jackets and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's
That's true.
and yeah, I have terrible memory of faces, and I'll just be like take 8 years ago, I'll be sitting next to Seth in a tournament, and I text Nick Petrangelo. I'm like, "How does John Dolan play?" And then he just comes over, and I'm just like, "Fuck."
That's you, man. You got it.
Okay. I'll give Nacho. I just love answering Nacho in this game.
All right.
We're getting some extreme cards, man.
Nacho is Leon's therapist. All right, next question. You're in a MMA cage match, 3-minute rounds. Which Triton player are you fighting?
Deuce I die, ace I win.
I mean, who do you want to fight?
Want to fight?
I mean, that's
Terms of-
ace is who you
Ace
most
is who-
want to be in there.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Deuce is who you,
Yep.
for whatever reason you want. Deuce
Yeah.
is who you
Deuce I
least
die,
want to
ace
be
I
in there.
Yep.
win. Yeah, okay.
Be curious to
I
see
don't
how
wanna be
much
in
he's
there with
taking
Dimitar,
raw
man.
strength versus stamina. There's a lot of concerns.
And who's gonna just not fight you?
I mean, they have to. This is like your bankrolls.
Life or death, right?
Bankrolls on the line.
Ooh.
Sure. I would like to see what Webster looks like with the life on the line. Scrappy survivor.
Who would be in your weight class?
There's no weight
Like,
classes. He
let's
can
say
be
there is.
fighting
Let's say
Heckler.
there is weight. I mean, not for his question. I'm just asking you.
Who's in my weight class?
Yeah, who would win in your weight class?
So
you're probably like
Dan and I are the
DeVoris.
same, and Tim might be a little heavier.
Tim's heavier for sure. Tim's closer to my weight class.
What? Wow. All right. Tim's like 5'7", 5'8".
Probably 5'8".
Okay.
Your weight class is like DeVoris.
Webster.
Stevie's probably in your weight class. Stevie's
No.
Stevie
I
weighs,
know, but
Stevie
he
weighs
can't be.
155.
Oh my God, he is.
Yeah. Stevie weighs
Wow.
155.
Wow,
He's
that's wild.
He's razor thin. Brian Kim, maybe he's a little
rocking
bit.
a sick
No,
mustache,
Brian's
that's
got to
true.
be like.
Dude, Stevie's mustache is
65.
great. Looks
Yeah.
like Guy Fawkes. Guy
amazing.
Fawkes.
How much effort do you think he puts into that? Not much, right? It's
Probably, I don't know. He looks sick.
anyway.
Gotta have like him and Yuri next to each other when Yuri was.
Oh,
running.
yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
you're
you
just
got an
in the-
answer?
You're just in the mustache sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Leon fighting?
I'll fight you, Seth.
Ooh.
Okay,
I
that
would,
lines
I
up with
would
Nacho.
never hurt you.
Huh? You never heard me? Again.
Me and Nacho, what a crew. As long as I don't have to be in there with Nacho. I mean, I guess that's kind of, it could be
No,
good
you're
and
going to
bad,
beat him up, and then he's going to go to Nacho for a little bit of help. Like, how do I put myself back together
God,
after
what
this?
a weekend for Leon that would be, huh?
All right.
So it's a 3 or a 2.
Yeah.
It's not a 2 because he would rather not fight Jason probably. Like Jason would be much scarier to fight than me.
Yeah, I think.
But like, who would be a worse therapist than Nacho?
Yeah, that's.
It's got to be a 3, right?
I think 3. 3.
Yeah, we're having a good track
3 for 3, baby.
3 for 3, let's go.
One more round?
I mean, not to throw him under the bus, but I was also struggling to find someone who's worse than Nacho. But for what it's worth, he at least has a very ease how it go. I mean, no, that's probably not even true. But he at least gives you the sentiment of just don't worry as much and just be confident.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. And if he's your therapist, he's going to be friendly. Like, you're a good listener. It might not be the worst thing to have a therapist who talks more about himself than listens.
Yeah, right. Maybe that's there.
And I personally vibe with him somewhat well. But
Nice.
again, this is.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all the Say Something Nice About Nacho podcast.
We'll put 3 questions in this one in case the last one needs to get cut.
Yeah, that one might need to get cut.
All right. We'll go with. I'm happy to do that.
You do that one?
Yeah. You want that one maybe? It could be the piece of advice.
How the
I don't know. That's not very good.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
So this is, you've come to your first Triton event.
Oh wait. We got the card.
You got a card, right? You come to your first Triton event, and you're really nervous, and you just want some grounding, want some help to get your feet set, and you go to this one person and ask for advice, and they'll give you, advice. Who are you going to?
This is again whole pool, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's who do you go to? I like the piece of advice. Like, what do they tell you instead of the player? You want the player?
Oh.
I think I want the player.
All right.
Yeah. I think I want the player.
It's kind of similar territory as the therapist question.
Yeah, that's my worry. It's.
All right, let's do the piece of advice then. What do they actually tell you? They could sabotage you, they could just be trying to.
Don't have your
ruin
phone
you.
when you're at the tournament, or it could be it's great to eat 2,000 calories on dinner break. Or it could just be hey, watch the streams and pay attention. People play really different.
There's a German saying that goes, or a phrase thing to say, where you say, jeder kocht nur mit Wasser, which is everyone is cooking with water, as in everyone gets dealt to cards.
Yeah.
Everyone puts their pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
I like that. So we're somewhere in the middle, I think.
Okay. So, second question is, you joined a book club, and this is the person who is running the book club, and they pick the book every 3 months. You guys are reading a new book. This is the person in charge of the book club, Rex and Regs.
Yeah, I mean,
all Triton players.
A year ago, I wouldn't have been able to imagine this because I wasn't reading at all. Now I got a little bit into it, so.
How do you know so many words if you don't read?
What?
Consuming
He knows a lot of words.
Consuming a lot of
That was a
content.
ridiculous question.
Living it on the internet.
He's just eloquent.
Words exist outside of books.
That's true.
Talking.
But they use different words on YouTube. Leon uses the good words.
He does use good words.
Thank you.
I like his words.
Your words are sick, Leon.
What part of Germany uses these good words? Can't be Bavaria. I'm just trying to figure out where he's from. Stuttgart?
I think Leon's told me this before.
Well, definitely it's been
you're. Fuck. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure you told me this.
Starts with a B or an S or a V.
Black Forest? Isn't that a place?
I think that's a map in Age of Empires.
Black Forest is a region in Germany, right?
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Fuck you.
You grew up in the forest?
You grew up in World of Warcraft.
Wordsmiths don't grow up in trees.
No, I'm from West Germany, where the bulk of big
Yeah, that's close to Black Forest, right?
No, Black Forest is like southwest, I think. But I'm very bad at German
Maps.
geography.
All right. You got sick words, not very good maps.
Courtesy of me knocking him out of the main event yesterday, I will give him this moment of publicity. It will be Darren Elias.
Okay, so
Ooh, that's kind of interesting.
yeah, I have.
Because Darren's not going to be doing much reading.
I don't think he knows this, but no, Darren's a huge history buff.
Is he?
Loves history.
I didn't know that.
Leon's gonna know about every war of the past 10 centuries.
Darren?
Yeah.
Really? I had
That's
no
what
idea.
they're doing. They're reading, yeah. Big risk guy, big.
But he didn't
risk
know
the
that when
board
he was
game.
answering,
He
so.
didn't. And, the thing is, so that lines up for me initially as like a 9, what you were saying. But I like that piece of advice as like a jack. Your confidence being like, look, you've seen, Stevie and Jason, Tim, Seth, etc. These guys fucking crush it, but like, wait, they get dealt 2 cards. That's a huge piece of advice for a newcomer, I think. I think to me, that's up in like jack territory.
And that's
It's
like
not
exactly
practical,
what
but-
you want to hear in a situation like that, because it is overwhelming to be like, okay, I'm stepping into this like new, intense place that's easy to be overwhelmed.
Yeah, and on a side note, honestly, like real talk, I think that's what a lot of the young guys have recognized, and they come in with way more confidence, I think, than people would have like 8 years ago.
For sure.
I think it's an entirely different, and you see like the regs try to be less intimidating because it doesn't work as much. Like these guys are like, I've played you online. Like, what do you have? Maybe like 2 ROI more than me? It's not
Right.
the end of the world.
Yeah. You in 10 territory?
I've got Darren.
Darren would be like a really fun
Darren
guy to have a
at
book club with too.
10, and the other piece of advice at Jack, I'm 10 Jack.
Just to throw this in, this game is usually played with only like one. You're using
Yeah.
equalizer.
Yeah.
Having 2 equalizers is very fun to like have them
nice.
bounce back and forth because they're all mutually
10 and a half.
Let's go with a 10 and a half.
All right, what do? We got to settle.
10. I think Jack would, like Darren would be
I think you're
an odd
right.
pick for like a Jack in a book club, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's like a 9, honestly.
All right, then 10.
10.
Let's go 10. 10.
It's a 9, isn't it? Yep. Fucking told you, man.
We're still very
You
close.
blew
I
our
was,
streak.
I was thinking how the water thing seemed like it's a bit higher because it's simple
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
very efficient.
Yeah.
But
I had Darren as I like 9
and
there.
Darren, I
right, but-
obviously had no idea, but you knew that I had no
Yeah.
idea about his history.
Yeah.
But
It's good.
You fucked our streak,
I
man.
did. That's 3 of 4. Fuck.
it's an amazing.
Thanks for
track
taking
record.
me out of the Jack, though. That could have been a problem. That's a straight loss. That's just a draw. That's 3-0-1. That's our record. We're not 3-1.
That was a good run. We had a good
Yeah.
run.
He's a footballer. They tie all the time.
That's true. What's going on in football world right now? Isn't like Champions League or something going on?
It is. I'm totally out of the loop.
Oh,
but-
you're not.
I mean,
following.
although some friends of mine were posting it on Discord yesterday, there's apparently only like top tier teams left in a draw. And Dortmund, actually, that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
Dortmund got Atletico Madrid, which is arguably the best opponent they could have drawn. So it's kind of exciting, I guess.
Sick.
All right, I got 2 questions. Roll them out. You go. You're going to do roommate. Roommate for a year.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with the heavy hitter.
Okay. So
Well, I have something else.
Last card.
Yeah, this is the last one.
Last card.
Yeah, it's perfect timing.
Is this going to be the arc of the podcast? It's just frequencies? all
Just for
along?
that's it. We're
I
about
guess
done.
So.
It's interesting because it's definitely a different vibe of podcast. You don't really get into the nitty gritty. You're just analyzing
Yeah.
the quality of answers, kind of.
Learning a little bit about some players along the way. All right. You're gonna okay. You have to spend a year as a player's roommate. Who do you choose?
Pros only?
Pros only.
Okay, I was gonna snap. Now I'm taking a time extension off all. We were playing with time extension yesterday, just as symbolic,
great.
and everyone was spamming. At one point, Paulius was like, "Where are my time extensions? Where are my time extensions?" He goes to look on the table and he like looks at the card that was his hidden value, right? And he went, "Oh fuck, we just blew the game." And it was all over. And he was devastated. I thought it was hilarious personally.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with my instinct. It's gonna be Daniel Smilkovic.
All right. You're competing against Dan Smith for $100,000. What are you guys competing in?
That's a good question.
That would not as peanuts at this point, right? Okay, but that was
Hopefully that's the intro to the
Speaking
podcast.
of peanuts, I heard Lou Greenwood had like a crazy peanut situation. Did you guys hear about this?
No, peanut allergy?
Yeah, he apparently has like a vicious peanut allergy, and somebody was eating peanuts next to him. He had to get like rushed to the hospital.
Oh my God.
This was here.
That's
I
wild.
think so. Yeah. I heard
So
it
he
was
just
like
sat
a few
out?
days ago. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know if it was during the tournament or whatever, but like.
it's also kind of sad that that's what my mind jumps.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. What does happen? Like he was deep in the main. What happens if that happened? That's wild.
I mean, you're supposed to just have like an EpiPen on him, right?
Yeah, I would think.
Is that how it works? I have no
But they
idea.
have a pretty unique situation because his twin can just step in and no one will know. I think they look different for us, bro.
Yeah. I think at first, when you haven't played with them, it's initially tough.
Sam's
and then
definitely
it's
more
easy.
girthy.
Yeah.
You know this as not a face guy.
One's
You
working
can
with
just-
more
you
hair
can
right
just-
now. The one's going horseshoe, and the other's, I think
Yeah,
Luke's got
that's
nothing going
true.
up top.
You're
Cue
right.
ball.
Murphy is a word I'm
They're not
struggling on.
identical
I don't know.
twins.
No.
You probably couldn't tell because you can't see.
Yeah, early on it was very difficult for me. Also, like the first Triton that I played with both of them, the app had it wrong, so I was like, "Come on."
All right, so we got a high card here.
Yeah,
Dan
we
Smith-
got. I think Pete wanted us to do a
Or
bonus
no, that would be a
question.
low card because Dan Smith would be very
Yeah,
good at that.
yeah.
But,
Dan's got a high edible
Yeah, for
tolerance.
sure,
That's
yeah.
huge.
I mean, it's a 3. He accidentally told us.
All right, how about let's think this through.
Why is
Smilkovic?
Smilkovic such a bad roommate? I mean, he looks like a guy who's super dirty. Like he looks like a guy who's just gonna leave shit everywhere in your house or your place.
I've got a little background. Leon and I have talked a little. He plays a lot of poker, and I think Leon might be looking for a little more balance. I think that's what's bringing it down. I think he talks all poker, which I think Leon would like for a couple days and not a year. We said a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the other question answer? Dan Smith, the
Smith
edibles,
getting high,
cognitive function.
doing-
Yeah, Dan's a sharp guy.
I mean, he's like the last guy you'd want to face in that.
But like,
he does so many
there's no
edibles.
variance things. He could just play me in table tennis. You know what I mean? Like he knew some no variance things he could choose, and he didn't go there. Fight Jason. Play you in
Yeah, but that's
basketball.
not as funny.
But yeah, that's true.
Stop being so logical.
Hmm.
It's a 3. He accidentally said 3. Like it's a fucking 3.
All right.
3.
I did, but I feel like I kept this. I mean,
No,
Yeah, you did.
I mean,
You recovered
it was just so natural
Yeah.
that it came out of you.
yeah,
It was
I
like
know,
it was
I know.
obvious.
I fumbled, but
4-0-1. That's pretty impressive
Good
game
effort.
results.
It was a good effort.
Is there anything you'd like to say about
I,
your
Yeah,
performance?
talk
I
about
love Daniel Smilkovic, but it's exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It would
too
be
much
all
poker.
All poker,
He's
yeah.
potentially a little bit messy
Yeah, he's got to be mad.
and just not looking for social interactions with anyone mostly, which he will happily.
You should break him out of his shell and put him as the guest.
Oh god.
Next podcast, Smilko.
I did tell you to. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that, but yes, he is a good candidate for sure.
Get
He's
him
a
on
very,
here.
very interesting character. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Maybe
I mean,
lace his
it's gonna be
drink with
very
something.
offbeat,
Yeah,
weird vibe if you interview him, I guess, but it's gonna be.
I feel like you just get him shooting the shit, and he's got to
listen
have it.
off- I
Just
mean,
get him, make him comfortable. Have him talk shit about poker players first, and then
there you go. That would be great.
That's
He
it.
would be able
Just
to
ask
love
him.
that.
Just ask the whole thing could just be all the people he thinks suck or whatever.
I feel like he's quite opinion.
For sure, yeah. for sure.
Start him with who are 3 Americans who are really overrated. That's a
Yeah,
great
there
way
you go.
to
That's a
intro.
great way to do it.
Yeah, he'll go off on that for sure.
Yeah.
And then Dan Smith, you agree with what you said that there's, but I was kind of thinking, what are like snap me to lose things against him? The only thing I know sports wise is that he plays some tennis, but I don't think I'm like a lock to lose.
Oh yeah, I
against
forgot
him.
it was all against Dan Smith. I was thinking against anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all Dan Smith.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So what's? I mean,
No, I mean,
there's
that
some
was
lock
great.
losses. Like what's in a fucking
We have to do
recalling?
we have to do a fashion show and get rated on our fashion style, but there's a lot of variance. in
Dude,
this.
That's a lot of variance.
Sauna Iron Man. Have you heard the Dan Smith sauna Iron Man
No.
bit? He loves the sauna, right? He's a big sauna guy. But he's like, if he's in like a public sauna, like at the gym or something, if somebody comes in after he was already in,
Has to outlast him.
he has to outlast them. Yeah, he won't get out before they get out.
That's
he has to
hilarious.
grind them
What
out.
if he's been in
It's
there like
so
20
funny.
minutes and they come in?
Well, I'm sure he's just stuck in there for 3 hours. Sometime.
Brutal. Man.
Sauna warrior Dan Smith. Yeah, so sauna might be number 2.
I could have. There was no possibility of guessing that, but it's very funny that he does it like that. I can
I thought it's hilarious.
somehow relate to that a little bit. that you feel a little bit socially anxious to exit first?
He's a very competitive guy. He's like one of those guys that we play with it like has extreme competitiveness.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's like, that's kind of something that don't have enough of. And it like really serves everybody as like competitors to like when it really hurts you to lose and you really refuse to lose. But it's a very interesting balance of like, it brings a bunch of darkness into your life, but it also serves you as like for your success. And I mean, this isn't only in poker, it's in anything in life. It's like kind of being more successful. The attribute that leads to more success kind of makes you a less happy person.
See, I would argue it's the word choice that kind of frames everything. So like framing winning money or being the most respected in your field as success, I think is the narrow look that kind of makes people strive for things that maybe won't make them so happy. It's like that word success has an interesting tie-in to some stuff that I don't know. It's like one aspect of life.
Yep, and that's like something that you really learn as you get older. You know what I mean? Because that's like when we were your age, like you're definitely way more mature than we were at your age. But,
It's absurd.
You know,
Makes
like
no sense.
I remember being your age and it's like all that matters is like me playing the most and like winning the most money. It's the only thing that matters. This is all I care about.
But that's what usually gets you where you want to go, right?
Where you think you want to go.
Where you think you want to go. I don't have any idea of where I want to go. I'm less striving.
I think you see this thing like, you know, especially past 10, 20 years, all these guys who get really rich and then they go on a spiritual journey like, well, it wasn't about that. So now what is it about? And it's like, how did the guys coming up not see that? And like, maybe I should kind of balance it all the way up.
Yeah.
Balance all the way up in what sense?
Like as you're
start to kind
success.
of balance your life on the journey from the beginning of the path as opposed to, you know.
Yeah, that's
what was it?
where I'm at.
You're in a unique position too because you've had so much success at a young age. You get to have like a lot more perspective than a lot of people do at your age, which
I definitely don't have enough gratitude towards that because it's tough for me to compare myself to anyone, right? Because I only see everything through my
well, all the comparisons happen in our relatively homogenous group. So like when I tell people who aren't poker players, like, I don't think of myself as like a super competitive person, they laugh. They're just like, what? You're the most competitive person I know. And I'm like, in my ecosystem, I'm one of the least competitive people I know. And it's just,
but this is what I struggle with a lot because your perspective on life is just so altered by this bubble, and you're just, it's really tough to relate to normal people these days.
For sure.
What
because that, like you're saying, so many people have virtually zero competition for their entire adult life. So like whether they were competitive people or not, it's just been beaten out of them because they've just had an office job for 20 years or whatever. And we're doing the exact opposite. Our whole life is competing.
Yeah, and then even within this ecosystem, there's these different hierarchies in terms of like, is it about being the best player or is it about winning the most money? Is it, you know, like there's the cash games bleeding over from this where it's like, hey, we're out there fighting and like there might be the best tournament player, you know, might be some dude who's never played cash and he's pulling in 900K in equity every year and that's fantastic. But like that was the small pot that Elton won the night before.
Right, yeah, it's that part of this world is so unique that to actually make the most money, like the best players are never actually going to make the most money because the best players can never get in the biggest game.
It's just a different game philosophy, right? To like nail the frequencies or whatever, nail the game tree.
Yeah.
Or to make the highest dollar EV decisions.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I've thought a lot about that too. Like I have some friends who, I mean, I won't say any names or anything, not that many people would know these people, but I have a friend who, his grind is basically he pays $2,000, $4,000 once a week with all VIPs, makes a ridiculous amount of money. And you know, awesome guy. I like him a lot. And I like don't know if I would trade places with him.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, like this is something that we get to be a part of. That's like super cool. Like there's you know the money is obviously way lower than like that guy makes, but like you get to be a part of something that. You get to feel like you're one of the best in the world. That's something that a lot of people enjoy. Like at poker, there are actually like way more poker fans than I usually think of. And like you have people supporting you and like checking in on you or something. It's really a lot more than just money.
And playing, you know, you and I talked about it when I was asking you some questions a while back, but when you play high stakes tournaments for a living, you don't really have to compromise your values. You're not like, you're not thinking, am I crossing a line here or anything on a daily basis. You're just like, everyone knows what they signed up for and everyone knows I'm here trying to win their money and it's great.
Yeah, in cash games, that's definitely not the case. You might even feel like an imposter or something.
Yeah. I've had to, you know, button up and not, you know, say what I want to say when somebody's like, you know, treating somebody else less than optimal, and you're just like, all right, I'm not going to chime in and say that this dude is a racist or a bigot or whatnot. I'm just going to do what I can to not lose my $500K a year seat.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just the whole game you got to play, and you see like there's just so much like suction, like attachment from people, and it's really cringy to watch and to witness, but like at the same time you're like, all right, this guy's, this is what this guy does for a living, is he kisses a VIP's ass. And it's like, all right, that's not what I would do, but yeah, that's the beauty of tournaments, is we don't have to do any of that shit.
I like what you said about having people check in on you and everything. I think it's easy to underestimate how much of a social media following, or in general, how much of an impact you can have as this kind of athlete figure, which I have kind of neglected up until this point. I have like no social media content that I put out whatsoever, but I feel like there's a following to be had and a community to be had, and you can always have a good impact on essentially your internet appearance or whatever.
Yeah, and even if it's as simple as like, hey, this is somebody I went to grade school with, and they're like, hey man, like good job, like rooting for you, like it's just like, when would that happen if you just had a normal job? You know what I mean? Like it's something somebody's like excited about that aren't even strangers necessarily. It's not even about getting thousands of followers of strangers. It's just people who were loosely connected to you that are like still supporting you and still attached to you in a way. In that.
Yeah, I was kind of struggling with that though, because I had a small amount of these interactions after the bracelet, for example, and I didn't really know how to interact with that, because we're entering this like weird thing where they're praising me for something and I don't know how to react genuinely to it.
Sure. Yeah,
I was struggling a little bit with that, but in general, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's cool how like there's a benefit to the fact that we don't really have to suck up in this world, unlike the cash world. It makes for a better selection of VIPs too, because you get the guys who are not interested in being sucked off, the guys who just want to be treated normally. So you end up having VIPs that you want to talk to and actually enjoy.
Definitely.
There's no feeling of like extreme specialness where they expect you to accommodate them.
Right. Yeah, it definitely attracts good kinds of people on both sides of the VIP pro aisle.
So, Chirp in a chair, what'd you think?
It's amazing. Great.
Had a good time.
It's a high bar.
Had a good time.
Kayan Mockery, next guest.
Maybe Kayan, maybe Daniel Smilkovic. Stay tuned.
Have them together. Those two could play off each other in some fantastic ways.
What a group.
That's either a complete plane crash or, I don't know, something amazing.
Yeah, put some questions in the comments if you like. Get some ideas.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Good stuff.